Cocktails with Queens here. Welcome back. Now, tonight we are joined by a legendary radio personality and multi-platinum recording artist who has been making history since the early 90s. So please welcome Miss Jones, Miss Jones, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones. How you doing tonight, girl?
Hey.
Before we dive into your music career, you have been recognized as the first African-American woman to have a syndicated morning show on Hot 97. Whoa. Now, why was that such a historic moment for our culture, specifically Black women in the 90s?
I think it was, first of all, thank you for having me. Oh my God, because I think I've interviewed all of you on radio at some point or another, except Selena. We were on the phone. Right. You couldn't, right. I was in Philly at that point. So thank y'all for having me. I love the show and I love you all. And I'm listening and I'm engaged and I'm like, oh, But I think why it was so important is because up until that point, women in the morning were simply laugh tracks to the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we were, even when I did mornings with Star and Buck Wild, I would get yelled at afterwards if I didn't go along with his shenanigans sometimes, which would later on lead to my dismissal.
Wow, dismissal?
Oh yeah. I was in contract renegotiation, and then Star went to our boss then at the time and told her that he didn't want me on the show anymore because I stood up for the Aaliyah. He made fun of her dying, and I walked out.
God. Well, first of all, that was classless.
Miss Jones, I am so glad you're touching upon this because I think there's a very dark side of radio when it comes to women specifically that is not talked about enough. You are hired to laugh and be like, oh, no, are you serious? You are there to be a cheerleader. And if you get too much shine, a lot of times these men do not like you. And that's the one field. They are running it in radio.
They run radio. I was going to say they run radio. And every turn you go, if you don't have a man as your mentor,
lead,
you can, like, if you don't have a man in the background fighting for you in the big office, you'll wind up not renewed and not know why.
They run.
And that's why it's a big deal that you had your syndicated show. I'm sorry, Selena.
That's all right.
No, they run the music business too. The men run the music business as well.
Absolutely. And I'm just not that girl. I've never been that girl. I watched oh my God, I've never said this, but I watched my dad work like 40-hour, 50-hour, 60-hour weeks and come home and hand his check over to my mom. I get it now, but it bothered me then. And I said, I would never, I want to be the provider. I don't want to be waiting for the man to give me the check. I always want to be in control of my
career, your destiny.
Right, my destiny. And so I always wanted to work. Some women, it's for them and God bless them, but that was always me. So I'm not that girl that's going to get along to go along or go along to get along.
Now, speaking of your career, you originally had a music deal with Motown, but then, your journey kind of went a couple of different ways. And you decided to put your recording career on hold. Tell us why.
Well, before Motown, I was on Stepson Records, which was independent through Tommy Boy. I left there because Russell Simmons and Andre Harrell both wanted me to come join their labels. And ultimately, Andre won out because it was a new venture. Motown was iconic in my eyes. I thought my parents, who were in heaven at the point, would be shining down proud because I was on Motown. But then Andre got fired. The new man they brought in, George Jackson, he died. Then my best friend, Big Pun, died. It was a lot. It was too much. And I needed
a lot of depth surrounding you at the time, huh?
Yeah. And I had not ever I hadn't yet recovered from my parents dying. So my dad died freshman year of college. My mom died the week after I graduated. So it was already a lot.
Wow. Well, Miss Jones, thank God that you've gotten back to your passion, your true passion, which is music. And we can try all we want. We can run down the street, child. We have underwater basket weaving, whatever we want to do. But when we are musicians, it stays in our heart. And you have a new single called Calling All Ladies. Let's take a listen.
Take a picture and stare if you wanna. I'm a whole lot of angle, so catch me. Wanna spend time with it. She made up her mind. Gucci on all, money so long. Double G's on all. Oh, we so long.
Yes.
Oh, come through, girl, come through.
You.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so what inspired this single after the hiatus? What made you come out and say, I'm calling all the ladies?
It was time. People always say that, oh, no one wants to hear from you guys. You guys are old now. And yet everyone loves the 90s. Well, guess what? We are the 90s. We created that blueprint that has yet to be recreated.
Hello. Hello.
So I said, I still like feel good music. And I think that the people that grew up with me in the 90s, they would like it. And guess what? I'm not going to stop. I have nothing to lose. I feel like for 15 years, I was in the wilderness, according to the pastor. I was in the wilderness. I was raising my sons. I did it by myself. My oldest son just graduated high school. He's on his way to Arizona State. My youngest son is going to Bergen Catholic. He's a state champ in wrestling.
Yes.
I feel like I did what the Lord wanted me to do, and that this is my reward. And you're right, it never dies. So the message is all women, we are the needle movers of the world.
Yes.
Correct.
So
Well,
let's stop shying away and do it. Sorry, Claudia.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to show you some love. I'm excited to tell you from the comments in the chat. Pocahontas says, this sounds like a summer jam. They're all like, hey, yes, voice is still fire. Let's get it. They're loving you. And they said, you ate that, Miss Jones. I saw her perform in the 90s. Damn right. They're loving you. I just want to say, and I know I owe you a video clip. I've been extremely busy, but I love your voice and I love your drive. And knowing radio, what you've done for radio is a major deal and you need to be celebrated. That's historic. It really is. So you are booked and indeed very busy. What can fans expect from you next?
Thank you so much. Thank you to the people in the chat. I appreciate that, because every bit of encouragement, because I'm older and the bones get tired and I need my naps. So,
Okay.
so I can't, I need my naps. I can't overextend, but yeah, we already have the single number 2 in the queue, ready to go, and more radio. And by the way, heard you when you were on with the Breakfast Club. Envy is my brother. And hope you get the gig, because the world needs more of strong women in morning radio. That's for damn sure. And it's just, thank you. It's fun. It's fun, and I'm going to enjoy it and take my time.
Means the world coming from you. Means the world
Yeah.
coming from you. It does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've been on the radio for so long that sometimes, doing interviews like this is very important, because you allow people to not forget about your other passion and the other things that you do. So congratulations. We will be listening and looking for you everywhere, because that's going to be a chart hitter. Absolutely. So
Calling all ladies. Make sure you get it.
yes, we appreciate you. Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I love you.
We love you
Absolutely.
back.